You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Monday, March 11th, 2019. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. Topping our news, European Union officials in Brussels have blacklisted Bermuda for its handling of tax matters. Officials reportedly felt the island had not done enough to combat tax avoidance by multinational companies. A report from the Reuters news agency said the UK had objected to the EU plans, but dropped their objections after EU officials said the island was, quote, playing games and had attempted to put in place loopholes in legislation designed to combat tax dodging. Reuters quoted EU officials as stating Bermuda had failed to send them the text of its Economic Substance Act in time. That legislation required international companies operating here to have a physical presence. The blacklist will also include Barbados, a few Arab states, and other islands in the Caribbean. It's not clear what impact the blacklisting will have on the island. We reached out to government for a response, but did not hear back from anyone as of last check. And some very sad news. A Butterfield Bank investment manager lost his family in the Ethiopian airline flight crash that claimed the lives of 157 passengers and crew on board. Mike Sharp reports.
The African community in Bermuda informs with profound grief the passing of family members of our Kenyan brother, Paul and Georgie, in the Ethiopian Airlines plane crash that occurred on Sunday, the 10th of March in Ethiopia. Paul lost his wife, Caroline, and 3 children, 7-year-old Ryan, 4-year-old Kerry, and 7-month-old daughter, Ruby. He also lost his mother-in-law, Anne Karanji. All were Kenyan. Paul is an investment manager with Butterfield Wealth Management and fellowships at the Hamilton Seventh-day Adventist Church. We wish to express our heartfelt thanks for the expression of condolences and outpouring of support for our brother at this unfortunate time in his life. The African community in Bermuda said in a press release, "We particularly appreciate Premier the Honorable David Burt and the government who, through the Ministries of National Security and Finance, visited Paul at his home yesterday. We are deeply heartened at this incredible level of support and concern Paul's employers, Butterfield Bank, have extended to him. They worked with us through the night and this morning to ensure his travel back home to Kenya could be as smooth and worry-free for him as possible." Recognizing the loving nature of the Bermudian people, we will open a condolence book to the public at the offices of the Honorary Consulate of Ghana at Suite 6, 129 Front Street, Hamilton. And the dates are as follows: Tuesday, the 12th of March to the 15th, noon to 2 p.m., and Monday, the 18th of March to Friday, the 22nd at 2 p.m. I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Very sad news. In court news, a Czech national has been found guilty by a jury for smuggling over $9 million worth of heroin to the island. The Gazette reporting that the jury delivered a unanimous guilty verdict for 49-year-old Joseph Volchek, who was caught with the drugs in his suitcase at the L.F. Wade International Airport in 2017. The defendant arrived on island from London when customs officers discovered bulges in his luggage. The packages contained 2.9 kilograms of heroin. Volchek denied having knowledge about the contents of the packages throughout the trial. He's due to be sentenced this week, Wednesday. Coming up, a new temporary bus schedule, a near walkout of nurses at the hospital, and the latest weather forecast from AccuWeather headquarters. Stay with us.
When did sleep start requiring effort? What if it didn't have to? That's why every Tempur-Pedic mattress is engineered with advanced pressure-relieving material, so you get the deepest sleep you've had ever. Sleep effortlessly with the superior comfort of Tempur-Pedic.
Enjoy the world's finest beds at Furniture Walk, 12 Harvey Road, Paget, 292-5209.
There's nothing like Tempur-Pedic sleep.
The car wash, talking about the car wash. for 20 years. I was a teacher. I remember that when we drew rainbows in school, my first rainbow, I included black and brown. My students said, silver, those colors are not in a rainbow. I was ready to go on a trip. All of a sudden, I got an earache, and that kept on increasing. I was getting headaches, and I couldn't walk. They took an MRI because they thought it was a tumor in my ear. Instead, there was a tumor in my head, and it was big. In the morning, I looked to my left side, and there was the river. And I said, what color is the water? I was in awe. I was looking at the different colors that I never saw.
Welcome back. Good news on the transport front today as government announced an agreement for a new temporary bus schedule and roster has been reached with the Bermuda Industrial Union. The implementation of the much talked about schedule had been delayed, and it reduces the number of buses operating in a bid to reduce cancellations. The Tourism and Transport Minister Zane De Silva hosted a news conference today to explain the changes. He was joined by other civil servants, including transportation chiefs and officials from the Bermuda Industrial Union. All sides were happy that they were able to come together after what we understand were intense negotiations. Tarai Trott was there.
During a news conference at TCD headquarters in Pembroke, Tourism and Transport Minister Zane De Silva said the new schedule and memorandum of understanding could not have come about without collaboration.
Before proceeding any further, I must recognize the collaborative efforts of the DBT and the BIU that allows us to come before you now. Mr. Michael De Leon, Assistant Operations Manager, was instrumental in the development of the new schedule, and Mr. Brent Harvey, driver trainer, led by the Perusal Committee, responsible for the final iteration of the rosters.
The new 50-bus schedule will be in place for 18 months, during which time both sides will work to formalize a permanent one. Department of Public Transportation Director Roger Todd clarifying the public bus schedule will be the same all year round, except
that for the purpose of organizing the bus operators' work shifts, the winter bus schedule includes school runs and the summer bus schedule does not. The new schedule can be viewed and printed on the official government website, www.gov.bm/bus. Hard copies of the bus schedule are also available from various fair media outlets.
over the next 18 months, the department will monitor the performance of the new schedule and make adjustments where necessary. This temporary schedule is designed to cut down on the number of daily cancellations due to vehicle shortages.
The agreement provides for regular review of the new bus schedule, the work rosters, and new bus purchases. The second MOU defines night work for the bus operators and will provide clarity for the development of future work rosters. The introduction of the new 50-bus schedule will greatly assist in eliminating the daily cancellations that has plagued the bus service in recent years. As additional buses come online through new purchases and out-of-service repairs, we will expand the bus service on those routes with the greatest demand.
Bermuda Industrial Union President Chris Ferbert commenting on the progress made to reach an agreement.
And recognizing, I think today is completely different. And the reason why I say that is that the challenges that we have with the reducing the 104 rosters down to 80, challenges that we've had with more than one piece of night work, I think the department and the union have sat down and sorted out those rosters to the degree that it's satisfactory to the membership. Recognizing that we still have our challenges going forward, I think the department and the BIU have agreed to do an MOU with the understanding that we'll look at the on a monthly basis, look at the rosters, see what our changes need to be made to the rosters, and the interim period also in that 18-month period is making sure that after that MOU is finished, that what kind of bus schedule are we going to have going forward.
And of course, that was Tarai Trott reporting. In other news, word reaching us today that nursing staff at the King Edward Memorial Hospital had nearly walked off the job. Jasmine Patterson has the details.
We understand that nurses at the King Edward Memorial Hospital were fed up with issues regarding understaffing and were refusing to work. The problems said to have been ongoing for some time. President of the Bermuda Industrial Union, Chris Ferbert, confirmed that the BHB and 2 union representatives for the workers met this morning between 8 and 10 a.m. to discuss the situation. Mr. Ferbert adds that he's satisfied that the issues have been rectified and will need to be further dealt with internally by upper management at the BHB. A BHB spokesperson confirmed there was an incident of minor irregular industrial action which has been resolved. They added that services are running normal. We further requested details as to what is being done to address the understaffing issues regarding nursing aides at the hospital and what services, if any, were interrupted this morning as a result of the action. But we did not receive a response by news time. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Jasmine. Turning to weather news, a beautiful day today, but more rain headed our way for Tuesday. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters now for the details.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast has been brought to us by the good folks at the BF&M Insurance Group. We have a little bit of a speed bump here with some rain on the way. It's building into the area. Showers overnight tonight into early tomorrow, and periods of rain will be with us off and on for the next 24 plus hours. But there's some nice weather on the other side of this front, so we need to wait for this to push through, and then we'll have a pretty nice time later on this week. Temperatures much warmer than they were late last week when we were talking about the unusually cool air. We're back up to 68 degrees. Humidity is holding at 66%. Wind light from the south at 5 to 10 knots. Water temp is at 67. On the inside, we have 1 to 2 foot waves, but there are 3 to 6 footers out there around the island on the periphery. So because of that, a small craft warning remains in effect in through Tuesday morning. There will be a break, a time in which there won't be any advisories, but then again on Tuesday evening, a new small craft warning will be issued or has been issued for that time. Again, conditions will improve for a little bit tomorrow afternoon, and then they're going to get wavier, and the waves will be rocking and rolling once again once we get into tomorrow evening. Low tide 6:15, high tide will be right around 12:34 late tonight, just after midnight. Another low tide early Tuesday, and then a high tide approaching 1 p.m. Tuesday afternoon when the waves flatten out just for a brief time. So partly to mostly cloudy with some rain building in. It becomes more likely toward dawn, lows around 65. Tomorrow back up to 69 degrees with periods of rain. A wetter day for your Tuesday. After Tuesday, though, improvements come. So here we are with Futurecast bringing this stripe of rain through the area tonight and especially into tomorrow. And it does make pretty good progress to the east. So by 11 p.m., we expect most of the rain to be east of us. And we'll also be keeping an eye on this other system, this area of low pressure lingering farther east. That'll be staying way to our east, so not an issue for us. Looking at the Caribbean forecast, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, the showers will be out there at times. No tropical threats, though, for any of us. That's the good news. And as we look at the gateway forecast, if you're traveling maybe west into the North American continent or east into London, we have generally dry, pleasant weather for Toronto. A nice March day, 44 in New York City, Boston 43, Atlanta 70. So pretty decent March weather there. Miami 86. Now in London, we'll have some spring showers, 50 degrees for the high there. That's around 10 Celsius. Extended forecast again. We have wet weather tonight into tomorrow, especially Tuesday. Wednesday, showers linger, but they'll be a little spottier, and there will be hope of some glimpses of sunshine. And then it's a nice weather forecast Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Great weather, mid-60s, ramping back up to the upper 60s, lows, upper 50s into the low 60s by the weekend. So enjoy that once it gets here. We're just not there yet. So take the umbrella for your Tuesday. We're going to send it back to you.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
This summer I was in Germany on holiday with my family, and on a whim one day my son and I joined a speed sliding competition. And as I came down the water slide, I went straight down in the pool and whacked my left foot on the bottom of the pool. And I looked down and I didn't see a foot. I just saw the bones sticking out, and I started to feel faint. I was ambulanced to a hospital where I stayed for 11 days and had surgery. I had snapped all the ligaments on both sides of my ankle. And in the middle of all this stress and pain, we thought, how are we going to deal with health insurance? How will we pay for this? And I got a response from Allison at BF&M, and she said, your admission and surgery will be covered at 100%. I didn't have to put it on a credit card and deal with a reimbursement later. It made such a big difference to us. And for me, the BF&M difference is stress-free insurance when I really needed it.
And you're watching the Monday edition of Bermuda Tonight. Well, what is life in Bermuda beyond pink sandy beaches and pristine sunsets? Well, one Bermudian photographer stepping outside the box to capture images that represent her view of life on the rock. Jasmine Patterson tells us more.
I wouldn't say I found a niche. I would say I'm just taking pictures of what everyone else isn't.
27-year-old Jade Gibbons is the photographer behind the popular Instagram account Queendom Heights. The self-taught artist has gained attention for highlighting a different side of Bermuda culture.
I wouldn't say they aren't ready for this type of photography, they're just not used to it. So when people think of images of Bermuda, it's traditionally pink sands and Bermuda shorts and all of that type of stuff. So here I come with a whole different spin on things.
Her photography style developed quite organically by simply taking her camera to the places she visits regularly.
If you don't see images of yourself in a positive light, then you know, how are you supposed to be proud of anything? So that's pretty much just what I do. I just highlight regular life. You know, you have black fathers who are real fathers, and county game is something that every Bermudian knows, but it's not something that's, you know, shown on the world stage.
The young entrepreneur decided to turn her artwork into a business, selling prints exclusively at Urban Cottage. As a byproduct of pointing a lens at Bermudian culture, she says it's unveiled the need for social change.
I feel like we're at a point in Bermuda right now where things are kind of bubbling over, and I feel like that has a lot to do with the fact that the middle class hasn't been represented all this time. You know, we spend so much time attracting wealth, and how can we bring more wealth, and, you know, attracting a certain type of demographic instead of stepping back, taking note of what's actually going on in Bermuda and highlighting that.
She hopes that images like those captured of the late Reginald Sonny Ferbert will spark a change in how we address societal problems by looking inward for the answers. It's been said in the past that the island lacks creative outlets for aspiring artists. However, Jade says her artwork aims to inspire others to share their own vision.
There's so many great photographers here, and a lot of, not even just photographers, but artists that are underrated in Bermuda, period, because we're so used to the box of Bermuda art being pink sands and Bermudianas and long tails and all of that type of stuff. So I don't want to say underground artists, but a lot of artists are overlooked. So I'm hoping with my photography that kind of changes the game.
In the artist world, it's all about networking.
I've been grateful enough to have people in my corner who, you know, they see what I'm trying to do, they respect it, and they help me. But at the same time, I would tell any artist, don't be afraid to reach out to people. You know, the worst thing they can tell you is no.
Jade is steadily working hard behind the lens with a view to turn her passion into a full-time career, pursuing the study of fine art photography and continuing to shine a light on Bermudian culture.
Thanks, Jasmine. Earl Basin will have all the latest sports news after this short break. Stay with us.
Wondering, do cell phone and internet providers really look out for his best interests? And what about electricity? Like most people, Cal's had his share of bad experiences with service providers. Yet, he also has friends in the industry who go above and beyond for customers. As a consumer, your experience shouldn't be hit and miss, which is why the regulatory authority is introducing consumer protection standards. Cal likes that. The standards will mean improved frontline staff training, fair and honest marketing and advertising, better handling of complaints, easy to understand billing, and protection for vulnerable consumers. The new guidelines will also set service standards for managing outages, customer data privacy, and more. The regulatory authority wants to know what's important to you. It's easy to have your say. Go to rab.bm to be part of the Consumer Protection Public Consultation.
Surface Trends is proud to offer Bermuda's best selection of natural and exotic stone, carefully selected and imported from Italy and Brazil. We also stock the newest collection from Caesar Stone and Silestone. Don't forget our wide variety of gorgeous porcelain wood plank tiles, including our exclusive Bermuda cedar tile, as well as natural travertines suitable for outdoors and indoors. Bathroom and pool tiles are in stock too. Stop by our showroom at 17 Serpentine Road, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1.
At Argus, our interest is you. Each of you. Around here, we know that when two people seem the same, they can have very different insurance needs. For their health, home, work, and future. Which is why we take the time to get to know you as an individual, so we can provide insurance coverage that fits your life. Because after all, our interest is you.
Turning to sports now, Bermuda road running record shattered. Triathlon finishes 6th in Florida, and Carifta athletes shine indoor championships. Earl Baisden has tonight's sports package.
Lamont Marshall competed in a 15K road race in Jacksonville over the weekend. Marshall would finish 27th overall, and in doing so, he would break the Bermuda distance record. Marshall would cross the line in a time of 47:55, which would break Mike Watson's record time of 48:38, set back in November of 1986. Competing in the Lake Biwa Marathon in Japan, Tyler Butterfield would finish 60th overall, clocking a time of 2:21:47. Butterfield's personal best time smashes the record he set last year during the Commonwealth Games of 2:26:29. The 2019 Round the Grounds race took place at the Botanical Gardens. Jessa James won the boys and girls 13 to 18-year-old race with a time of 5:11:51. Jason Simons was second in 5:21:66, and Tajai Gota finished third in a time of 5:25:26. Liana Medeiros was the first female finisher and 6th overall with a time of 6:10:13. Zayla Bean was second in a time of 6:40:27. She finished 7th overall, and finishing 8th overall was the third female finisher, Sophia Magason, who was clocked at 9:30:14. Erica Hawley finished 6th, competing in the 2019 Sarasota Bradenton Chemtri Sprint Triathlon America Cup in Florida. Competing in a strong elite women's field, Hawley crossed the line in a time of 58:06. Hawley would complete the swim in a time of 10:05. She would then clock 28:16 on the bike course before closing out with a run time of 18:40. The Bermuda team competed very well in the AAU Indoor Track and Field Championships in Maryland over the weekend. There were several podium places, new records, Carifta standards, and personal bests over the 3-day meet. Nairobi Smith Mills and Caitlin Bob detailed the event.
It's Nairobi Mills. At the AAU Championship, I ran 1,500 meters and 800 in my age group in 16:15. I ran a 4:23 in 1,500, which was a Carifta qualifier, and I ran a 2:05 in 800, and both got me gold medal.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Bob. I competed in the AAU National Championships in the 15-16 age group. I currently have won the 200, the 400.
Under ideal weather conditions, the third and final competition of the 2019 FEI World Jumping Challenge was held at the National Equestrian Center on Vesey Street on Saturday. In Category A division, which was the 1.20 to 1.30 meter height, saw Philip Correa riding Emerson accumulate 4 penalty foul points in a time of 62:93. Vicky Steele riding All-in-One claimed first place in the 1.10 to 1.20 meter Category B division. The pair had a double clear round time of 65:19. Bermuda Professional Squash Association's Open 2019 came to an end at the Bermuda Squash Rackets Association Club in Devonshire on Friday night. Canadian Nick Shavi and Marina Staffiani from USA were crowned the male and female champions. Bermuda hosted Jamaica in an international rugby test match, coming away with a 43-14 win. The fixture at the National Sports Center was a Rugby America's North promotion relegation match to determine who will play in this year's RAN Championship Division. Bermuda would get 3 tries from Ian Healy. Connor McGlynn would go over twice, while Jamie Baum and Alex Brown both added a try each. Brian Archibald kicked 4 conversions. The Bermuda Grey Goose World Par 3 Championships concluded at the Turtle Hill Golf Course on Saturday, with Barry Lane shooting a second round even par to win by 1 stroke over Miguel Angel Martin. Lane would finish at 2 under par for the tournament. Martin would finish 1 under par for the tournament. Kumiko Smith finished as the top Bermuda golfer, tied 3rd at even par alongside Andrew Marshall. The PHC Zebras, despite falling 2-1 to the Somerset Trojans on Saturday night at the Somerset Cricket Club, would win the Premier Division. This after Robin Hood drew 1-1 with North Village Rams yesterday. In other Premier Division action, it was the Denny Town Hornets 5, Crossroads 2, Devonshire Cougars 2, Boulevard Blazers 0, BAA 4, Paget Lions 1. In First Division play, it was Vasco 2, Young Man Social Club 0, Flanagan's Onions 0, Southampton Rangers 1, St. David's 4, Hamilton Parish 2, Devonshire Colts 1, Somerset Eagles 1. 2018-19 Bermuda Bicycle Association Fat Tire Massive Mountain Bike Race season concluded with action taking place at Ferry Reach Park. Dominic Mayo won the male open race, covering the 6-lap course in a time of 1:05:21. Brian Stanoff was second, stopping the clock in a time of 1:06:30, and Adam Kirk finished 3rd in a time of 1:08:11. The female open class was won by Ashley Robinson, who was clocked across the line in a time of 1:12:34. Phoenix Sparks defeated the North Village Lady Rams Red 15-9 in Digicel Under-12 Netball Division action. In the other match in the division, the North Village Lady Rams White defeated the Storm 18-13. In Under-16 Division play, the North Village Lady Rams got 18 goals from Rihanna Higgins as they defeated the Storm Thunder 26-2. MVP Ezreal Baston scored 22 goals to lead the Storm Lightning to a 32-7 win over the Phoenix Fire. In Senior Division play, the Storm Thunder recorded a 49-34 win over the North Village Lady Rams, while Danielle Rayner scored 43 goals to lead the Phoenix Heat to a 54-28 win over Storm Lightning. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Take a test drive today at Ultimate Motors.
Let's Talk is back. The TV talk show hosted by Gary Marino airs live at 8 p.m. on Mondays. Real conversations with key figures in public life, going beyond the sound bites to explore and contextualize current affairs. And there's lots to talk about: jobs, tax reform, our changing economy, education, crime, and the environment. Discussing the issues that matter in depth and with personality. A new studio, a new look, or a new season. That's Let's Talk. Live Mondays at 8 p.m. on ZBM TV 9 and repeated at 7 a.m. on Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 a.m.
When it's happening now, you can't beat the immediacy of radio.
Chance to hear the thoughts of acclaimed author.
No matter where you are.
I'm Darlene Livingston with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
When events are spectacular, television is by far the best media platform.
Why now this particular topic?
For sports action, well, need we say more? Broadcast reporters put elected officials on the spot, keeping them honest and accountable to voters. And they can explain things in ways we all understand.
Climbs up to 12.5%.
Broadcast news is important. We're your eyes and ears on the ground. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us tonight. In good times and bad. Radio's your constant companion.
On the big station, Power 95.
And TV news is the news.
Based on what you're seeing.
And Bermuda Broadcasting is your station.
And And a programming note now. Tonight's Let's Talk with Gary Moreno will tackle the controversial subject of the municipalities and government's plan to turn them into quangos. On set with Gary tonight will be Charles Gosling, the mayor of Hamilton, and Quinnell Francis, mayor of St. George's. That's Let's Talk with Gary Moreno tonight at 8 p.m. right here on ZBM TV 9. That's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for sharing your Monday evening with us, everyone. Good night.